Every year, millions dream of coming to America, the land of opportunity. The American dream, but for some, that dream turns into a nightmare they never saw coming. Today, I'm going to tell you the raw, unfiltered, and deeply emotional story of a young man who risked everything, his family's savings, his future, his soul, to chase a dream, only to find himself in chains before he could take his first step on American soil. This is Kofi's story, and I'm going to share it with you in his own voice. A story of hope, betrayal, despair, and redemption. Buckle up, because this journey will break your heart and rebuild it again. I grew up in a small village outside Lagos, Nigeria. The kind of place where the red dirt stains your feet forever, and the sun burns your dreams into your soul. My name is Kofi, and all my life, I had one dream: America. I was 9 when I first saw it. A grainy VHS tape of coming to America playing in my uncle's shop, New York City. Skyscrapers touching the clouds, yellow taxis racing through streets. The Statue of Liberty standing tall, promising freedom. I turned to my best friend, Tunde, and whispered, "One day, that'll be me." But dreams don't come easy when you're poor. My father was a farmer, working the same land his father did, bending his back under the sun for pennies. My mother sold yams and peppers at the market, her hands rough from years of labor. We didn't have much, but we had each other, and we had hope. My mother often asked why I was so obsessed with America, saying Nigeria had everything: family, community. I told her I loved Nigeria, but America was where dreams came true. I promised to go there, work hard, send money back, and build us a big house so she wouldn't have to sell yams anymore. She smiled sadly and warned me that dreams are heavy and could crush me if I wasn't careful. I didn't listen. I was young, stubborn, and hungry for more. By 20, I was working odd jobs in Lagos, carrying cement at construction sites, washing cars, anything to save up. But it wasn't enough. A ticket to America, a visa, these were impossible. I had no degree, no connections, no rich uncle abroad. Then I met a man who sold dreams. His name was Mr. Chukwu. He wore shiny shoes and a gold watch that gleamed in the sun. He found me at a bar where I was washing dishes, my hands cracked from soap and water. He told me he heard I wanted to go to America and could make it happen for 12,000, a visa, a ticket, everything. I'd land in America and start a new life. He said he'd done it for many boys like me. I told him my family didn't have that kind of money, but he smirked and said, "Where there's a will, there's a way." He suggested I talk to my parents, sell something or borrow, because this was my future. That night, my heart raced as I went home. $12,000 was more than my family had ever seen. I told my parents about Mr. Chukwu's offer. My mother cried and my father stayed silent. My father asked if I could trust this man. I said I'd heard stories of boys from Lagos now living in New York, sending dollars home. My mother worried it was everything we had and asked, what would happen if something went wrong? I begged them to trust me, promising I'd make it work. Go to America, send money, and make them proud. My sister Ada reminded me they were saving for her wedding. I promised I'd send money for that too. The next day, my mother untied a small cloth bundle hidden under her mattress, filled with her jewelry, gold earrings, a necklace meant for Ada's wedding. My father sold his land, the only thing he had left from his grandfather. We borrowed from neighbors, promising to repay with interest. I gave Mr. Chukwu the money. He handed me a passport with a visa and a plane ticket. I held them like they were gold. My dream was alive. The day I left, the whole village came to say goodbye. My mother hugged me so tight I felt her heart breaking. My father put his hand on my shoulder and told me to make them proud but never forget where I came from. I boarded the plane to New York, my first time flying. I stared out the window as Nigeria disappeared below me. I whispered to myself that this was it. The American dream was starting now. The flight was long, but I couldn't sleep. I imagined walking through New York, sending money home, building a house for my family. I pictured Ada's wedding, my father healthy, my mother smiling. When the plane landed at JFK Airport, my heart pounded. I stepped off, clutching my passport, ready to start my new life. The immigration officer was a tall man with cold eyes. I handed him my passport, smiling nervously but hopeful. He scanned it, then looked at me. His smile disappeared. He told me to step aside. I asked if there was a problem, but he just said to wait. Two more officers came and took me to a back room. My hands were shaking. Then the officer told me my visa was fake and I wasn't entering the United States. My knees buckled. I couldn't breathe. Fake? How? I paid $12,000, my family's life savings, my mother's jewelry, my father's land. I tried to explain, but my words were jumbled. They didn't listen. They put handcuffs on me. Do you know what it feels like to have chains on your hands? Before you even take your first step in the land. You've dreamed of your whole life. It's like your soul is ripped out and thrown into the dirt. They locked me in a holding cell. It was cold, gray, and smelled of fear. With me were men from Ghana, Somalia, Haiti, Mexico, all of us dreamers turned prisoners. I kept thinking, what have I done? Mama trusted me. Baba trusted me. I sold their dreams for this, a cage. They gave me one phone call. I called Mama. She answered, excited, asking if I was in America now, if I'd seen the big buildings and taxis. I forced a smile through my tears and lied, telling her everything was fine, that I was in New York. She said she was so proud. I told her I loved her and hung up. Then I slid down the wall, tears burning my face. How could I tell her the truth? That her son was a failure, locked in a cell with nothing but shame. I spent 5 days in that cell. No real food, just stale bread and watery soup. No sleep, just the sound of men coughing, crying, praying. And fear they'd deport me. Fear I'd go home in disgrace. Fear I'd never face my family again. Then a flicker of hope came. A lawyer from a charity group showed up. He told me I could apply for asylum by saying I was in danger if I returned to Nigeria. I admitted I wasn't in danger. I just wanted a better life. He sighed and said the system doesn't care about dreams. Only reasons, and this was my only shot. It wasn't true, but when you're drowning, you don't ask what kind of rope they're throwing, you grab it. I applied for asylum. They released me, but I wasn't free. I was invisible, no ID, no work permit, no rights. I moved to a small apartment in Brooklyn, shared with 8 other men. We slept on mattresses on the floor, the air thick with sweat and despair. I found work washing dishes in a restaurant, paid cash under the table. I cleaned toilets at a gas station and carried boxes in warehouses, my back screaming in pain. I kept thinking, this is America? The land of dreams? I'm a ghost here. I promised to send money home, but I could barely feed myself. Then came the worst call of my life. My sister Ada called, her voice trembling. She said the wedding was canceled because we had no money. She said Baba was sick and they couldn't pay the hospital bills. I told her I was sorry and promised I'd send money soon, that I'd fix everything. I hung up and sat on the curb outside, staring at the stars. I thought about ending it all, more than once. What was the point? I'd sold my family's future for a lie. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mama's face, her smile, her strength. She used to say dreams are heavy, but I was stronger than they were. So I kept going. 3 years passed. 3 years of hiding, working, surviving. Then I met Miss Clara, a lawyer who believed in me. She said my case was tough, but saw something in me, a fighter. She told me I'd pay her by living a good life, and that was enough. Clara fought for me. She found a new path, not asylum, but a special visa for victims of fraud. It was a long shot, but she believed in me. For 4 years, we battled the system, court hearings, paperwork, waiting. Every day I prayed I wouldn't fail my family again. Then one day Clara called and said we did it. My visa was approved, I was legal. I sobbed, thanking her over and over. I walked out of her office and sat on a sidewalk in Brooklyn. No celebration, no fireworks, just me, crying quietly. The weight of 4 years lifting off my chest. Today I'm a legal immigrant. I own a small contracting business, painting houses, fixing roofs. I'm not rich, but I send money home. Ada got married last year in a beautiful dress with the whole village dancing. My father passed away, but he knew his son made it. He died proud. But the American dream? It's not what I thought. It's not skyscrapers or yellow taxis. It's pain, sacrifice, loneliness. Sometimes it's a piece of your soul. I learned the American dream isn't free. It costs everything you have, and then some. But if you're willing to fight, it's worth it. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. My story isn't unique. Millions of us, immigrants, carry stories like this. Stories of dreams broken and rebuilt. The next time you see someone at a restaurant counter washing dishes, or at a gas station with tired eyes and broken English, don't just see an immigrant. See a fighter, someone who bet their entire life on one hope, one dream. Look into their eyes. You'll see pain, yes, but also strength, someone who refused to give up. And maybe you'll see a little of yourself. If this story touched your heart, do me one favor, like this video. Comment below, tell me your story, or just say hi. Share this with someone who needs to hear it.